What's going on out there? I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another installment of the TJ Evans Show. And today we're going to be talking about a serious subject. Is it the fall of the Republic? Is this the end of the United States? And for a while, I didn't want to get into the conspiracy theory that a civil war is going to break out and that because of the riots and because of the introduction of the LGBTQ community going into the schools, and we having drag queen story hour, and racism is a big problem right now. Yeah. I used to argue with my guest right here, GMO, my homeboy. What's up, Glass?
Man, it's crazy, man. You know, it's been some back and forth, but things play out how they play out, bro. And we just starting to see the reality of things, man. You know what I mean?
And you know, for a while, I kind of fought against you about it because I was like, no, I'm not going to be a conspiracy theorist anymore. I'm going to use logic and all that good stuff. But right now, logic is telling me that stuff is going down because now they've changed the definition of words, even when it comes down to recession. Right now, since we have extraordinary rates of inflation, everybody wants to lie about it. They changed the definition of recession, and that blew my mind.
Hey, man, that's that whole live your own truth thing, man. You know, definitions are only given by humans, so humans can change definitions by logic standing.
Yeah, but it's kind of Orwellian. Like, right, even when it came down to, again, like I said, with the riots and then the draconian laws when it came down to COVID, where people tried to actually mandate you to inject something in your body that is foreign that they only tested the same year.
That's just new in America, though.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm talking about. Even because this republic is falling, and this is supposed to be the safe haven. This is supposed to be the bastion of freedom. This is the light that the world should look towards. But now it's going a little crazy, and especially when I heard like last week about inflation and what they were talking about, where Joe Biden came out and said that we did not have any inflation in the last month of July.
Today, we received news that our economy had 0% inflation in the month of July. 0%. Here's what that means. While the price of some things went up last month, the price of other things went down by the same amount. The result, 0 inflation last month. The people are still hurting, but 0 inflation last month.
The president and my vision for the future also means lowering costs for Americans. Today we learned that last month our economy had 0% inflation.
Any inflation in context of what, though? Depends on what context you're talking about. If you're talking about inflation from the start to the end of July, you might be right. July 1st to July 31st? He might be right in that context.
No, and that's what I'm saying, because they're playing with the definition of words. Because, yes, we didn't see any inflation in the month of July, but in all actuality, the United States is still going.
In the months before July.
Yeah, like we still going through inflation right now. People are still paying like hella money for gas, for groceries. Bro, you're not even gonna buy a house right now in this economy. So go ahead, throw that out the window.
The most wise investment. I've been looking, man, and the house that my folks have now, bro, is like 5 bedrooms. Got it at like 180 market value.
Mm-hmm.
The houses now with 3 bedrooms going for like 380 market value. Like,
so it's kind of hard to manage. So even with seeing those things going on and them trying to change the definition of words, one thing that kind of bugged me out was when the what do you call her, the press secretary for the White House.
Oh yeah.
She went on to CNN, and CNN didn't even believe the stuff that she was saying about the Anti-Inflation Act that the House just passed, that is supposed to help.
CNN didn't believe her.
Didn't at all, and there's a clip on it right now. So,
hey man,
the House is voting on the Inflation Reduction Act today. Do you think that you have all Democrats?
Well, look, first, let me we're grateful and congratulate Senator Schumer
and Senator Manchin for getting this really critical, important anti-inflammation bill out of the Senate. Now it's in the Speaker's hands. We know that she is very apt to get this through with her leadership, so we are confident, and we have been involved in helping in any way that we can. Think about the energy costs and utility bills because of the investments that we're making. They're going to feel that right away. They're going to feel that right away. They're going to feel that right away. How soon?
Well, let's get this bill passed, and then we'll see how the mechanics and all of that's going to work through. But those are things specifically that the Americans are going to feel right away. When it comes to lowering prescription drugs, that'll be earlier in the year, next year.
When it comes to lowering prescription drugs?
Right, because that's something that's Medicare has to negotiate, so that's going to be a process, and that's going to come
but the actual phase-in is going to be many years later, just to be clear on the negotiation of the highest price drugs.
Right, that's exactly right, but the process starts early next year. But look, this is
I just want to be clear. I don't think people should be expecting on their drug prices that's going to kick in.
Well, they're going to put the first 10 pieces, the first 10 medication out there, right, to start the process so they can start negotiating the lowering costs. But the point that I'm making is that this is an investment.
That's 2026.
No.
For the first 10, and then the additional ones phasing into 2029?
Well, here's the point that I'm making here is they're going to see energy costs, utility bills, that's going to come down.
Okay, I guess I was trying to speak about the immediate impacts, but I do want to ask you.
But those are the immediate impacts when you think about utility bills.
I'm talking about here in the coming months. Just to be, I think we have maybe some different timeline reference points on that. But
but you're asking me immediate impact. I'm talking about the energy cost. That's going to be immediate. I'm talking about the ACA, the Affordable Care Act, those premiums. That's going to continue. That's going to lower costs for 13 million Americans.
CNN or the liberal media is starting to shift their alignment with certain members of their party, I guess. You see that happening right now.
Hey, you know what? Honestly, I think it's because that they see that they're not actually on that same boat. Like, because the Titanic is technically sinking right now, from what I see. Now, I don't want to jump. I don't want to jump on the conspiracy that is doing that, but I'm just saying, from what I see, technically, it looks like the boat is sinking, and now the individuals on CNN is like, bro, we can't even pitch this to the individuals that's out here on the streets. So it's kind of hard for me to even say this to people when you can look with your own two eyes and you notice there's something wrong going on in the union.
I mean, when it comes to folks just lying, or when it comes to folks trying to manipulate, that's how far can the media go with it? You know what I mean? How far can they get people to just buy rhetoric? You know what I mean? Because like for instance, Joe Biden's statement about no inflation in July. They want you to focus on that little piece of rhetoric instead of the grand scheme of inflation overall since he's been in the office has gotten worse. You know what I mean?
True.
So the spins, the narratives that they come out with is dying. A lot of people not buying it. A lot of it's a lot of politicians that's jumping parties. You know what I mean? And just aligning themselves more conservative ideologies, or at least conservative talking points.
Yeah.
Right. So either talk it up to people waking up, bro, or the mascot of the liberal party just is embarrassing, man.
And I believe the same thing for the longest in that situation, because I've noticed that a lot of people are starting to lean more toward conservative. Even when I seen rappers like Lil Boosie come out talking against Kamala Harris with the whole Brittany Griner situation, and when I seen radio host Charlamagne the God come out and talk about Joe Biden and the new bill that he's passed, that, I mean, honestly, when you can blatantly see that he's saying that Joe Biden in this bill and the administration passing in Congress, they saying that this is a bill that's going to help the American people, and they're just taxing the rich. But at the end of the day, like, we have to understand that the rich people are the ones who own the businesses. The rich people are the ones who are making the investments. The rich people are the ones who are actually hiring individuals to do jobs. And we're the ones who are going to have to deal with the burden, because basic economics.
Right.
It's just basic economics, and that's the one thing that us as American people, we're not even being taught in schools anymore. So, and that's what I want the American people to see, is that we're actually the ones who are going to deal with the situations that's going on out here. We're the ones who are going to have to pay the burden, and we're already doing it right now. And this is just the first year that we're actually hearing about famine and all this. But think about what we're going to be dealing with next year. It's going to be really dangerous. But like this video and comment down below. Tell me what you think. Do you think that the Anti-Inflation Act is going to be one of the things that saves the American people, or can you actually understand that basic economics, that we're going to deal with the problems from the rich people being taxed, because they're going to pass the buck, because that's what they always do, that's what they've always done. But the one thing that I want to talk to you about, Glass, is what happened this past week with former President Donald Trump. His home being raided by the FBI, and that's how I knew it was the fall of the republic, because the former president of the United States' home was raided by the FBI.
I mean, a lot of people don't think it's that serious too, though. You got to think about that.
Joe Biden raided the home of his predecessor.
They gonna blame it on Eric. I mean, what's his name?
Merrick Garland.
Merrick, yeah, he gonna take the fall or take the rep on that one. You see, they trying to do that whole Joe is letting the AG do his own thing. So if anything come down to it, it's not gonna reach Joe in the end. Joe is.
They've been changing the story from the beginning. At first, when it happened, it was a raid.
Right.
They said it was a raid.
Right.
And then it started going on to no, it was just a regular search warrant.
Right.
Even though Donald Trump's lawyer wasn't able to see the search warrant, and they weren't able to see what they were raiding, and they were just supposed to go in there for some papers that were not secure. And these same papers that were not secure are the same papers they saw a few weeks prior before and saying that they were secure, but there were certain areas that were not secure in Mar-a-Lago, and they provided securement for it.
Yeah, I'm about to say.
But then they came back.
You're not gonna raid because they're not secure. You're gonna raid because they have something that you deem is illegal. They were trying to say he had they were looking for espionage evidence, or evidence of him committing espionage,
and
as if like I don't know, they think people stupid, man.
But that's the next thing is they're trying to say that it was espionage. But it's like, all right, if it's espionage, you're saying that it's espionage because he has confidential papers. Mind you, these are the same confidential papers that you already saw a few weeks ago. And you took these same papers saying that it's espionage.
Oh, no,
and
they got a mold
that he leaked some stuff.
That was supposedly had gave information about Trump having, I guess, other documents. Somebody's writing.
But the thing is, they're saying that it's classified.
Right.
Donald Trump was the president of the United States.
He could declassify anything.
Anything?
Yeah, he could have anything.
Anything?
Yeah. I mean,
what are you saying? So it looks kind of funny because this is the thing.
I don't even think the declassification process is like difficult or stringent or nothing.
He's the president of the United States, and us as American people, we've gotten so comfortable with letting things slide and having people in the bureaucracy run the show that we don't even remember that the president of the United States is someone who we elected to run the show.
I mean, because you gotta understand how many folks hate Trump too, bro. So the right and wrong about the legality versus they just want Trump to get his is you know what I mean? Like, niggas, they don't care. You have so many people who are going to give Trump so much hell while they at the same time give Joe the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
And that biasness clouds their judgment. You know
because Hunter Biden and Joe Biden still have business dealings in Ukraine and China, and we're still letting that slide, and nobody cares about it. But yet we want to raid the house of a former president of the United States, and it could be darn near close to just collapsing the whole republic, because this never been done. And that's the only reason why I say that now I'm going back onto my conspiracy theory mode, because this has never been done in the United States history. Almost 250 years that we've been established as a country, never happened.
I mean, well, you got to understand too, though, the FBI ain't been around the whole time, so it couldn't happen prior to what's his name, Hoover or Roosevelt, who brought the FBI in.
J. Edgar Hoover.
Yeah, Hoover. Yeah, I mean, so their history is short. So I mean, but I definitely get it. and they have no precedence to really move the way they moving. And if man, see, you talking about conspiracy theory, bro. I'm already talking about, bro. They compromised, bro. This is a
And
you saying it's the fall of the republic. I'm saying this is the takedown of the republic, bro. These are folks who are actively engineering the fall, nigga. It's not no mismanagement or like the Rome where the emperors or the leaders couldn't come together and everybody every faction doing their own thing. Nah, bro.
Yeah.
This is a unified faction moving with the singular purpose to bring down America. And whether if they want to admit it or not, they do in their rhetoric, because they want to change everything that is American in its ideals and in its values. So whether if that's going to be on a economic scale, on a social scale, on a goddamn theoretical scale, whatever, they're changing fundamentally what America is and how it became. So yeah, these people are actively destroying this country, bro. Ain't even no conspiracy no more.
And that I agree with, especially right now after I seen what I said in the beginning of the show, what's happened in the past when we seen the riots, when we seen the news media actually manipulate the narrative, like tell their own truth instead of actually telling the truth about what's going on. When we seen what the FBI has done, where they haven't investigated what happened with the gymnasts who were molested by their gymnastic coach. The United States Olympic team gymnastic coach
I'm about to say, why would the FBI get involved
was
in that,
molesting
though?
them.
Okay.
But yet at the same time, they dropped the ball on that. But yet they can send 12 FBI agents to investigate Bubba Wallace and having a garage pull handle being a noose. So it seems like, yeah, they're trying to do a lot of stupid stuff, and again with racism going on, where they're trying to make it as a larger story than what it actually is, and then at the same time saying that it's police brutality, but the left tells us that we need a larger government and more of a police state. So it's confusing everyone because the devil is the author of confusion, so nobody knows what to think. And especially when it comes down to projecting what the LGBT community wants to put on people, even going down to the kids, changing the next generation of kids, it seems like they're trying to divide a house that is standing. And while all this is going down, they're tearing down statues and burning books. So it kind of seems a little Orwellian and something that's already happened in history. So maybe they're trying to sink the whole country. And maybe now I'm starting to understand what you were saying, because it may be for different reasons. When you were talking about we might need to leave America.
I mean, okay, when you I'm gonna step back for a second, Shadra. The whole Biden and his son's business relationships. I remember seeing an article that said the reserves that Biden issued or ordered to be released, they were sold to the company that Hunter has financial stake in. And with like he was saying,
which is come on, like, bro, that's like, if that's not a conflict of interest right there. But keep going, my bad, I didn't want to cut you off.
That's more than just a conflict of interest right there. That should just be downright, you know what I mean? Okay.
Almost treason. On the line of it. I'm not
Okay.
gonna say the word treason. Sorry, take that back. Sorry, YouTube. Don't do nothing for that.
I can show you some shit I can show you some shit that could be possible treason. Goddamn, like, let me show you how deep I think this shit go, bro. The whole Ukraine-Russia shit, right? We already know Biden point man in Ukraine, right? Whatever his goddamn take out of Ukraine was, he's goddamn now giving it back to his partner, goddamn.
Yeah.
The oligarchs that paid him.
If I was conspiracy theory, I would think the same thing. I would be like, it kind of looked like that.
And look, even go deeper than that.
Because why are we in Ukraine? But that's just a question that nobody wants to ask.
Go deeper than that. Okay, right when Russia initiates this war now, right? We have Miss Griner head to Russia to go play basketball, right? Somehow gets caught transporting, I'm pretty sure, not the first time, medical marijuana. I'm pretty sure that she's not the only one who has medical marijuana on that team or just playing through these, channels and anything. I'm pretty sure a lot of these women get prescribed medical marijuana for their goddamn aches and pains.
I would believe it.
Pretty common for athletes, right? Given the state of WNBA, who is the most famous person going over there? Miss Griner, right?
It would be Miss Griner because that's the only thing that I'm seeing on the news, especially right now.
Out of anybody else from the WNBA to go over there, who would be more famous than her?
Can't think of none.
Not one, right?
Especially being a member of the community.
And, I mean, now, okay. There you drive public interest now because people are invested based off of feelings now. She's one of us. You know what I mean? We have to get her back. Okay. She gets caught, right? In the middle of a war, she gets caught. And now they're asking in exchange for this public icon for a war criminal. Not just a war criminal, a warlord. A active
they said that he was what you would consider a god of war or something like that.
Is this not the dude who's the movie based off of the Lord of War?
I think that's what it is. Yeah,
I think this is the guy who is based off of that movie, based off of, right? If I'm not mistaken, I could be wrong, but this guy is still somebody who is a key asset when it comes to the situation Russia is in right now. I go as far as say, man, Brittany Griner was used as a motherfucking pawn, man.
All right, okay, all right, cool. So let's just say we still got our tinfoil hats on right now.
Right.
It seems like certain pieces are being moved into place.
Right.
And we talked about leaving America. Me personally, again, I had the first stance of saying, no, I don't want to leave here because this is the best place I can be, especially because I had that Second Amendment right.
Right.
But did the whole raiding former President Donald Trump's house, that's new. That's kind of scary.
That just goes to show how far your amendment rights go. Shit.
So, question is, if you had to tell people, you don't have to say a country, but if you had to tell people where to go, where would you go? What would be your guidelines, or what would you say on the stipulations of the certain area that you had to go to in order to live?
I mean, it really depends on who you are as a people, not a person, a people, because you're always going to do and be more comfortable around your own people. Now, who you are as a person and your environment, that could be another thing. Financially, I would say you want to go somewhere that's an emerging market because of the way the world is now. Established markets are finna be hit. All these top markets, top economies are finna be hit. You want to go to an emerging economy because the hit won't be as bad, and they still are. They're already in a position where they're trying to come up out the dirt. You feel me? So the global economics don't affect them so much. You know what I mean? There are places where there's going to be great economic investments. I mean, I know you see different countries investing in different African countries and things, like the Chinese got investments and things over there. So being able to recognize which economies are finna receive these economic boosts and that are going to help them go through this new world order, where they changing over and shit. Bro, we had the fall of an empire, man.
And honestly, that's what it seems like. And when it comes down to the new world order, that's what it seems like this administration want to do, because they're trying to make this a global citizenship. That's right. One thing they're pushing. Even when it comes down to the anti-inflation bill, it's pretty much Build Back Better. Like, you just read it, and it's just Build Back Better, just placed in a different way. They just renamed it, and it still even includes the cow farts. Right. So that's just a crazy thing. But one thing that I will say
about the cow farts,
one
man.
thing
you
I
gotta
will
get that
say,
research in.
Yeah,
man.
it's
important, man. Vital.
They're trying to get rid of the cows while they still buy up land everywhere and try to control beef and all this stuff. But that's neither here nor there.
Remember, all right, we was talking about the whole idea of the New World Order is equality, right?
Yeah.
The richer countries got to come down, and the poorer countries going up. That's the main reason why I say go to a emerging economy, because when the switch happens, if you get there before the switch happens and then start making investments, once the New World Order starts taking place, that monetary switch over, your investments go up with the economy.
Yeah.
So shit, you got is just like, I mean, anybody who know Wall Street, know money, bro. Anytime there's a crisis, a financial situation, there's money to be made. There's always money to be made.
And
so it's going to be a lot of hurt on one end, and then a lot of people being made rich on the other.
But I will say, even though it kind of seems like, again, it may be the fall of the republic, especially because it seems like a civil war is on the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I can say I would want to leave, but this is probably the best place to be, because this is what you know. This is what I know, and I feel that if people really wanted to do something right now, it's
a bubble talk though, because
no, I mean
there are many other republics around the world.
But
America's not the only republic country. You know what I mean?
But this is something that we know, and as an individual, you should want to protect your own land. You shouldn't be easily forced off your own land, and we have enough time in this preparation phase, especially because the midterm seemed like a lot of people are waking up and a lot of people are leaning toward conservative. Right. And if something happens drastically, even though that over 20% of black people are now leaning more conservative, and that was the one thing that the Democrats were scared of, because that's how they knew they were going to lose every election from here on out.
Yeah.
If something like that happens,
that's why they're trying to get the immigrants.
So
they got to replace that voter base.
We have enough time to change something, because a lot of people are starting to wake up. But in the meantime, I would say, like, just prepare for what's going to happen. You know, get emergency food and all that good stuff. And,
grow food, man. That's what
yeah,
I've been
grow
doing.
your
So I
own
started
food.
me a little garden, man.
Look to get with your community to just like try to buy some land or something. Because
Definitely.
That's one thing that a lot of these people out here doing, is they're buying up all the land.
I would definitely say grow food, man, because that really would limit a financial cost. If you don't have to, you know what I mean, spend daily on food or provisions and things, that'll definitely help you with being able to get a hold of assets, so that you'll have some stability when the change comes. You know what I mean, we're from my understanding, it's going to be switching from a asset-based economy to a commodity-based economy. So countries that are third world, who are just producers and don't do nothing but sell rice and grain, that's going to be very beneficial for countries like that. You know what I mean? So, like, with the whole thing about a republic, like I say, is many other countries that hold a republic standard. You know what I mean? When Rome conquered the world, bro, they brought the republic pretty much everywhere they went. You know what I mean? So it's just like being able to get there and being able to influence that republic to a liking. Now, that's what come with group economics. You see, you feel me? It's something black people suck at. So if we go somewhere, it would have to be somewhere where we going with like-minded people, so we can either financially get into a position of power, or being able to have a voice, or socially get into a position of having a voice, to where we can create those changes and influences and things like that. Especially us being African Americans, I feel like where we go, we're gonna be influential as a whole. You feel me? So, like, you know my theory on it. If enough of us go to Ghana, being able to, I mean, that we can go there now with the right of return, being able to participate in the local governments and bring our talents and our industry skills to an emerging economy, we'll be able to influence the laws around and be able to bring things that we are used to in a Western society to a more African, and be able to blend and mix that. You know what I mean?
True. Well, all I gotta say is, GMO, you just messed up right there, because you just exposed where you're going when the stuff hit the fan. So congratulations to you for that. But also I want to tell the people, make sure your taxes are in order, because apparently $80 billion has just went to the IRS, and they're not just hiring agents, but they're hiring agents who are willing to shoot somebody. And that's nothing new, because yes, they always had an agency that could arrest people and carry guns, but it's just when you see it in the job description, like, be willing to shoot somebody.
I think it's time to cash in on that debt, bro. That's why they need these extra IRS agents, man, and that extra funding for the Federal Reserve, who happen to make our money and produce our money, but they need to receive funding. Bro, China's cashing in all the debt that we owe their ass. They got their nigga in play, in power, the person that they want, and it's game over, bro. They finna goddamn make they move. And China's economy is the number 2 economy in the world. If they economy fuck up, it's gonna hurt everybody. Here go the kicker. China undervalued their economy. So even though it's number 2 in the world, it's not the legit numbers that they're projecting. So if shit go down and they come out, you know what? We got another book that say, hey man, look, our values is here.
Well,
So they go from number 2 to number 1 by a long shot. America's economy collapses and everybody else trying to scramble to be the next underdog, bro.
well, somebody had to pay for those relief checks. They weren't free. And no such thing as a free lunch. But I'm your host, TJ Evans, with another episode of the TJ Evans Show. Remember, comment down below. Tell us what you think about what's going on. Do you think there's the fall of the republic, or do you think there's a way that we can fight back as the American people? Appreciate you, GMO, for stopping by with me, just chopping it up with me. And I'll make sure I'm going to send all the followers and links and stuff so people can holler at you and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
like
man,
this video.
I'm finna redo my YouTube over and shit, man. I'm finna get Black Plate Productions.
Black Plate Productions.
Running,
remember, just go check those out too, man. Subscribe to Black Plate Productions. Subscribe to Royal Family Studios. Y'all stay up. Do your own research. Don't take our word for gold. We're not experts in anything. We're just reading what they print out.
Just regular niggas, man.
Yeah, man.
Just regular niggas.
Y'all stay up. Peace.
Salute.